Hey guys, Maria Menounos here. Hope you tune into my show, Untold with Maria Menounos, this Thursday night at 8 on E!
You're tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I love how we always pick these songs.
Yeah, this is the happy version.
It is. It's nice to have a happy version.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up? You're watching AfterBuzz TV for the after show of Stalker on CBS, Season 1, Episode 8, titled Skin. I'm your host, Jade Howard.
And I'm your host, Anastacia Waller.
Hey, I'm Cameron Lewis.
Hey everyone, I'm Teresa Jane.
So let's get into this episode. What were your first impressions? Cam, let's start with you.
I can't believe it's episode 8 already.
It's gone by pretty fast.
It's ridiculous. I had a lot of back and forth on this one. Mm-hmm. I thought it was at first Chad, and then I thought it was maybe the neighbor creepy lady who answered the door, and then I thought it was the other neighbor, and then I thought it was the wife, maybe.
And then you thought it was Ben.
And then I thought it was Ben. And then I just was all over the place. I was all over the place. There weren't that many jumps in this episode, which I was a little bit disappointed by because I like to scream when I watch Stalker.
You like to jump into our arms and have us hold you when you're scared. Is that
I didn't feel like saying it, but thanks for spelling it out.
I just thought we'd just put it out there.
But this was definitely, it had me going, had me invested in it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What about you, Teresa?
A victim of a hate crime living across the street from a reformed skinhead is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
That is true.
It's going to trigger something. Mm-hmm. It's going to definitely trigger something in it. I thought, like, the episode, for me, it was jumpy enough. I jumped. Yeah. I screamed. I had my notepad covering my face, looking at Anastacia like, okay, what's her reaction going to be? Because I don't know if it's okay for me to put it down. I thought it had good momentum, and it was a very interesting. I love all these different perspectives. It's like they keep finding all these cool stories to tell about different cases that you would never really think.
Yeah, I have the same reaction. I thought more than anything, it was just interesting. I didn't know all these facts about racism, and they were talking about how the Aryan Brotherhood started in LA, that group. It started in the Los Angeles prison. So I feel like I've always thought of LA as a melting pot and a very diverse city. So I'm kind of blind and oblivious to those things. So I just thought it was like, wow, this really goes on. I just thought it was interesting.
And we haven't heard really anything in the news in this decade, at least, about skinheads. I feel like it was a lot more prominent, like in the 70s or
in the
80s.
Yeah. I really liked that we saw. I mean, I don't like racism. I want to make that very clear. But like,
the white guy. Yeah, it was great. The white guy. It's about time we told our story.
But I liked that we had some other elements other than just somebody creeping somebody out.
Yes.
You know?
Right.
I liked that about this episode.
Especially in LA, it's always a lot of celebrity crime and scandals we hear about. So to have something different thrown into the pot, like you said, it's good.
Absolutely.
But it seemed realistic in the aspect of, like, I could hear this on the 11 o'clock news.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if I heard a story like this.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about, like, this episode especially, because it was very believable.
Yeah.
Disturbing, but believable.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
I wonder how they did the casting for this one. Hey, we need bald people with tattoos.
That's a good question. I mean, when you have to cast for that type of stuff, I mean, it's like, how do you be delicate about it?
Right,
you know?
in the title.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. We should ask.
Yeah. Get a little insider information on
Let's
that maybe
tweet
next
the creators. Hey, question.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the first topic. Let's talk about Mark and Chad. So we have Mark, who is a reformed skinhead. Mm-hmm. He's married to a woman. She's Hispanic and Asian, right?
Mm-hmm. She's Hispanic.
She's just Hispanic.
Yeah.
She's just Hispanic?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the Asian would have went ham on the family if the wife was half Asian.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably
That's
not.
right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Maybe we'd be like, I kind of relate to this.
Yeah.
A little common ground.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's just Hispanic, Latina.
Yeah.
And they're at a barbecue cookout, and they're just having a good old time with the neighbors. And then a guy who's bald head and Caucasian is on a motorcycle and drives on by during this happy, great party. And everyone's like...
The front yard party. Another front yard party.
like a block party.
It's a Kevin Williamson thing.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
God.
It was on the front yard.
All I'm saying is like, okay.
But it was a cul-de-sac, so it was like a cul-de-sac party.
It was a cul-de-sac front yard party. And I don't like a lot of people enough to have any kind of party, let alone a front yard party with neighbors.
Right.
So this is kind of like, something's bound to go
It's an
down.
open invitation when it's in the front yard.
Practically.
An open invitation it was, because that guy rode on his motorcycle and came on by and gave that evil look.
Stare down.
I know, and so Mark is a little scared, and he rushes the family to...
And he obviously knows who that guy is or
Right.
knows what that guy's about because he has a certain type of look.
But you're not really sure yet. You're just like, why is he looking at him like that?
Yeah.
And then you see him rushes his family into the house. Let's go for safety. This isn't looking right. Party's over for us. So they go back inside the house, and later on that night, they got a little the phone call.
Let me stop you there for just a
Stop
second.
me.
Because whenever they went into the house, I kind of took issue with this. There's somebody driving by the house. Dangerous situation, potentially. And he shoves his family in the house first. What do you guys think
Not
about
so
that?
wise.
I don't think... Some could argue he shoved him in the house first because there were people coming from the outside. But my first thought was like, what if there's more people inside the house?
I don't think so, because it's a front yard party in front of your house. I mean,
What if they went in the backyard?
It's a whole
I
gang
don't
of them.
know.
that's
Yeah.
true.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
I think you're reading too deep into that.
I feel like I do that a lot.
Yeah, and I think in this instance that happened.
Did anybody see the guy cooking the burgers?
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Wait,
he
I was
didn't,
like, yeah, I did actually.
maybe he didn't think that he would actually kill or try to hurt his family. It was just maybe he knew it was
like,
just going to be threats.
Empty threats. Yeah.
Right. So he was like, just go inside. They're more directed towards him for leaving the Brotherhood.
Right, and so they're in the house. It's nighttime. Night's fallen, and he's in the bed, and he hears a little noise. He goes out. He sees it's his son. Just wanted to watch cartoons.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I never did that as a child.
No, if anything, it's like, I don't know where the bathroom's at.
Yeah.
The bathroom's here or something.
I wish I could have woke up and gone downstairs to watch cartoons. My mom
mean,
would
I
have been
don't
like, if
even
you
do
don't
it
get your
now.
tail back into the bed, it's bedtime. Go read a book. Yeah.
I'm
with you
still
guys.
scared to do that now in the middle of the night. Like, I can't sleep. Going like, nope. I live in a 1-bedroom. I'm like staying in
Yeah,
bed.
I live in a studio apartment. I'm terrified of doing that. Like, I can't.
I have sheer curtains, and I wouldn't do that.
Sheer curtains.
Sure, I had to bring that up.
In
I had to-
this episode.
As we digress. I know so many sheer curtains.
We're still in the scene with the kid watching.
Yeah, kid watching the TV.
Sorry.
Teresa's like, move on with it. Move on. Okay. So he finally gets his kid, and he's like, let's go. And then they get a phone call, right?
Well, the
That's
lights
later
go
on.
off.
The lights go off.
That's
Right.
the second incident.
Right. The lights go off, and then,
The wife comes out.
right, like, what's going on? So now
They
it's
go
the whole
outside.
family.
No, they're still in the
they're
house.
still in the house. So it's the whole family now in front of a big window, picture window.
Big ol' window.
With sheer curtains.
Oh,
Were they
right.
sheer curtains, or am I making
No,
that
it
up?
was just a window.
It was just an open window. Okay, and so they get a phone call, and it's disturbing, and Mark's on the phone, and he basically starts shooting a laser pointer at
That
the
was
wife,
freaky.
and it's like, your wife or son?
Wife
Which one?
or your half-breed kid.
Oh, that's where I
right.
got okay, it wasn't his wife.
Wow.
Right, okay, no. Yeah, that was like a really...
Wow.
First of all, you're sick in the head for even giving somebody that type of option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not picking that as like Sophie's choice. No, thank you.
At that point, who did you guys think it was?
I
I thought that the husband, was somehow directly involved.
Oh,
I kind
thought
of
it
was
was
thinking
related to
that
the game.
too.
Yeah, I did too, because when he goes outside and he still has all his, that was crazy. It's painted on the walls in his house, or the front of the house, it says Nazi.
Nazi.
You see his Nazi tattoo.
And that's the first time.
And all the neighbors are like, oh, well, we didn't know this about you. Hold on, wait, Mark, let us find out. So everybody, and it's like a very diverse cul-de-sac of neighbors.
Yeah,
like,
I noticed that.
You have Asian, Black, Latino, white. You got
one of everything.
Yeah, it's exactly. Like, take your pick. Like, it was just so diverse. Everyone's like...
And then I felt embarrassed for the wife, too, because she was standing out there, obviously, as a Latina and ethnic woman, looking at her husband like, what are you doing with this guy?
Yeah.
Right. And I know she was like, dang, you would have to have your shirt. Oh, because he was in the shower. That's what it was when he heard all the noise.
Of course you remember that scene.
Yeah, because I made a comment. I was like, now that's a shower scene I can get with.
Yeah.
Better than like Perry topless. Remember?
See, yeah. I'm not okay with the Perry top. But
Perry haters again.
I'll take Perry topless over tattoos with Nazi symbols all over the body.
Well,
But he's
now
a
that you put
changed-
it like that, Anastacia. Jeez.
But he's a changed man. You know, you just kind of just look it over. Put this wife beater on.
So the neighbors look really freaked out.
Teresa's like, moving on.
The neighbors do look really freaked out.
Yeah, they were pretty disturbed. So they're in the police station next day.
Yeah.
And they're explaining, they're what's the word?
Interviewing Mark.
Interrogating.
Interrogating, yes. They're interrogating them, but separately. And so Jack is interviewing Mark, and just to get into his past and to figure out, and he's like,
oh wait, you forgot to mention that they threw a brick in the house. They didn't end up shooting them.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did throw
And
a
you
brick.
said there was no jumping scenes. Cameron, are you kidding
That
me?
was a little bit
jumped.
jumpy, but like I kind of expected there to be a jump there. Because you see the red laser on the wife's like chest, and then you see the guy about to tackle her to safety.
I thought there was
I knew
going to be a
something was
shot.
gonna go down.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, I
didn't think they were
she
going
was
to
going
kill.
down.
I'm thinking, is he about to decide which one? Because this is going to go for a whole nother turn that I
thought
wasn't
maybe
expecting.
he was going to jump in front or something, you know?
He did kind of.
Well, then he would have died right away. The episode would have been over.
Wow.
That's a bad prediction.
Whoa.
Bad prediction.
Bad host.
I was thinking maybe it would be a 15-minute episode. Okay.
And that's the end. Next on Stalker, next week.
And they can't kill the women and children.
Right.
No, I
So
guess.
that's right. There's the brick that gets thrown in the wall through the window, and so they're being interrogated, and the wife's defending her husband, saying my husband's a changed man. Mark, when he's getting interrogated, you see that he has the Nazi or hate on his knuckles.
Yeah.
And he's
It's
like
fading.
Right, he's fading because he's getting like the tattoos removed. So you're able to really see that he really does want to rid this part of his past, and that he's a new person. Which then brings us to a suspect that they think could be a possible person that's causing this harm to him and his family, and it's Chad.
Yes. Well, really quickly before we get into Chad, when I was watching the episode and they were interviewing Christina, the wife, and she was saying, well, he learned hate from his father and he's a changed man. I was thinking about that for myself and just women dating, and just curious, like, is that something that you guys think you could get over? Or even, if it was a woman, I'm asking all of you, is that something?
Oh.
Yes.
I don't know.
I want to say I'd
would
be
have to
open
prove it
to
every
it.
Does he look like
Right.
Chad?
Or does he look like Perry?
Right, because that determines a lot too for how I'm going to answer that.
I think it's a case-by-case basis for myself. I don't want to say no, but
Right.
I don't want to be too hasty to say yes either. You know?
but look at all the strippers turned housewives. Like in like culture these
a
days.
little bit different.
Hey there. Thank you.
What about you, Anastacia?
It's one thing if he said, hey, I want to be honest, I was involved in this, and it's a little bit different because of the tattoos. I can't see bringing someone home that has obvious tattoos. I'm Black and Filipino, so I can't see bringing that home, but I don't know, like, we could be friends.
He is getting it removed.
BFFs.
What if he was getting it removed and that was part of staying in the relationship?
If I met him at church, yes. Then I would know.
All I'm saying is if you can turn a hoe into a housewife, you can be reformed in any other way.
You could know.
I don't see why not.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like,
right.
People change.
Teresa, what's your hard answer?
I think I agree.
Case by
Cam.
case.
It depends on the
I think so,
situation
yeah.
and the person and the relationship that I have with him.
Yeah.
Okay, people comment on our YouTube. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
we should-
curious
yeah.
to know.
Absolutely.
Let us know.
But it brings up the whole topic of reform. And, of course, we think about Jack. Has he really reformed?
Right.
And Maggie and Tim kind of have this conversation.
Right in front of his ex-wife.
Right.
Which I love.
And he's almost defending Chad.
He is. Because he's like, you can change. And you're like, I need to tell. We need to see like about 10. But I forgot exactly what you said, but you have to prove it more than once that you're a reformed person.
Right.
Like, you can't just do it, I'm changed. Oh,
Yay,
great.
look at
I
me.
believe let's all go skip into the fields of roses and daisies. It's
Right.
like, no, like, show me some more actual proof.
Right.
You know.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to bring that up.
That's
No,
a
good
that was a
question.
that was a good question.
Good
point.
question. Good question.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. So they're on to Chad now, who was part of the was like part of the skinhead.
White. I wrote it down. It's SoCal or Southern California
California.
Confederated
It's a political.
Socialist.
Confederated Socialists.
That's
Socialist
crazy.
group.
It's their political group. I've never seen them on the ballot every time I've gone to vote, but okay.
And they're white separatist
Right, because they don't like to be called skinheads,
or supremacists.
Or supremacists, yeah.
Yeah.
but a
And Beth,
separatist.
Separatist.
Beth calls them professional stalkers.
Right.
Yeah.
She did.
Neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
That's what Beth does when she gets real.
She got
Which is an
really
interesting
real.
point because she talks about how they work within the confines of the law, always skirting the edge of illegal, but never actually
Breaking
going
the
over.
law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Chad seems to be interesting because, he was brought in by Mark. Mm-hmm. And then Chad goes to jail. Mark is like, hey, I'm changing my life around. I'm going to get married, have a kid. And guess what? I'm not even going to be part of this anymore.
Right.
He rejects everything that he's taught.
Which is like, to them, that's worse than being someone of another ethnicity. To them, it's like you've betrayed your own, so you're worse than that.
Right. Their motto is nothing without family.
Exactly.
And he's basically betrayed his family in their eyes.
Yeah. And I love the conversation the interrogation with Chad and Beth when she was really throwing it back to him that Mark didn't believe in this the way that you believed in it, and it was just like aired to him.
She's so good at it.
Yeah.
So good.
I loved
She's
that.
good at throwing that shade your way, man.
Right.
I love me some Beth.
You know you love you some Beth, and we love it when Beth gets real.
Yeah.
Hashtag Beth gets real.
Hashtag it,
But
baby.
did you think that it might have been Chad when he was doing the thing with the son? Like, now that we know that
let's
it's
talk
not.
about. We should talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I wonder
Absolutely.
why he was doing that to the son. Because
I want to know why the mom had her back turned, and after like you guys have just like had your lives basically threatened, you had lasers pointed at you. My kid would have a leash.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's on the phone turning her back, and the kid's going to look for a soccer ball. He's at the park. And then Chad comes up and has this conversation with their son. And then she's like, leave us alone.
Yeah, at that point, I was pretty convinced that Chad was directly involved.
I don't know. The thing about this show is when it's too obvious, that's not the person.
But I agree with you, and that's most of the time that's the case. But we saw a couple episodes ago. I forget the woman who pretended to be the victim but turned out to be the stalker.
The wife.
I thought it was one of those
Andrea.
situations. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Andrea, yeah. But I mean, in most cases,
But
I
I'd
feel
say,
like
okay, one episode out of 8 that we've seen.
right.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying. Go on, Cam. What was
Devil's
your
advocate.
point?
No, that was my point.
Oh, that was your point? Okay. I think I won that one. Jade 1, Cam 0.
Oh.
Game on.
Oh. I'll get the next
I'll
one.
keep
Jade.
tally.
You keep tally. Write that down.
No, you won't.
1-0.
Oh.
No, you won't.
Oh, so you didn't think it was Chad at that point? Who did you think it was?
I didn't know. I just knew that there's no way it's Chad. Chad was up to no good.
Did you think it was the soccer ball?
You know what? Yeah. Yeah, I
That.
did. No. But so he approaches the son and has like
Yeah.
this conversation. He's like, tell your dad to come by the shop. Do you like motorcycles?
Creepy. I thought he was going to take him and put him on a motorcycle.
I know. I was like, where are they going with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It did seem
Yeah.
like a kidnap scenario type of deal, but it wasn't.
No.
And so Mark is not feeling Chad's little pop-up visit at the park. So Mark puts the law in his own hands and goes to
Confronts him directly.
Yeah, and beats him up. And he enjoyed it, though.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
he just wanted to visit.
Well, he has daddy issues, and I think he sees him as a father figure.
Absolutely.
And it's like his way of
Getting
bringing
punished.
him back.
It's like, Daddy's back.
Yeah.
Daddy's home.
Oh, yeah, the Usher song. Keep going. Keep singing.
Oh my God.
Okay, stop now. You're missing that tune. The tune is off. The tune is off. There.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
So he gets his attention.
So
for
Daddy's
sure.
home.
Daddy's home.
Daddy's home, beats the crap out of him.
Right.
And you can't blame the guy at this point. I don't blame him. Somebody's coming up to my kid in the park, threatening
He's
to put him on a
cross
motorcycle, whatever.
And he feels like you're
Not
threatening
okay.
our lives. Like, this isn't, we're not rolling with this.
No.
So he let him know. And so now he comes into the office to be interrogated. They're like, bad.
Yeah, don't do that.
Bad, Mark, bad.
Slap his hand and send him away.
But I feel like they didn't punish him as much as they could have, or
No.
would have somebody else, because
Well, he didn't
you know,
press charges.
Well, yeah, he didn't press charges, but also it was like they kind of were like, good job.
Sure.
Oh, what about
yeah.
Trent?
I think
Right.
so.
Trent didn't want
Let's
any
talk
of
about how
that.
you just read my mind. Jealous Cam.
Trent. Oh, you were not a fan of Trent this episode.
No. I don't know that I ever have been a fan of Trent.
No, you haven't.
He's kind of in Ben's book for me.
But he had that scene in this episode where
Now,
he
we'll
talks
talk
to
about
Amanda.
that, and I can be talked into that, but when we see him coming in and saying, hey, we've been going after this guy for several months, don't step on this stuff and ruin it, I was totally on Beth's side, because she said, hey, people are going to die, people are going to get hurt, why are you making it about you being right?
Right, because they found out that Chad was really in a he had a whole thing going on.
Right.
He had it separated, like the brains and then the muscle. You know, so there were still violent things going on, just like we said before. You know, they're really smart with tiptoeing on the lines of the law to get out of stuff, like to not go to jail or be imprisoned and all that stuff.
And I think we've seen a lot of that in this show, which is really interesting, because a lot of times they'll catch somebody a little bit, but it's not enough to actually put them away at all.
Which is what a lot of stalkers do.
Yeah, I think it's really true to life.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the
That's
law
what makes it scary.
Yeah.
I know, it's terrifying, because somebody could be terrorizing you, like we see with Beth, long term, and you can't really do much about it until you have more solid proof.
until you're like dead.
Yeah, and a lot of well, seriously though, yeah.
And then they're like, oh, I guess maybe we should probably pay a little attention to this. Oh, look at all
Right.
these warning signs and
Yeah.
pleads for help.
and that was
That's when you
that
go to
was
the
Beth's point
TAU.
here.
The TAU is there to help.
Yeah.
But they can only, even in another episode, I forgot which one it was, but they even said they can only handle so many cases a year. They
Right,
get
'cause
like
they don't have
X
manpower.
amount and they can't do anything about it because they just don't have the manpower. Which is crazy.
Or in this case, the woman power. Hashtag Beth gets real.
Beth gets
Badass
real.
Beth.
And so, what do we see then? We see they're back at home. Mark's back at home. He's cooling his jets. He's talking to the wife. Son and friend are outside playing. They go into the tool shed.
And the son's like, hey, don't go in there. That's my daddy's tool shed.
Don't go in there. The kid's like, yeah, screw you.
Yeah, I'm going in.
I need a screwdriver.
And he's like, but you could ask my dad.
Good little kid. Good
Such
little
an
kid.
obedient child.
They find a bomb.
God, that
Right.
was scary.
And then the bomb goes off and
I thought the kids would have for sure been seriously injured.
right, and that's what
Yeah.
ticked him off, right? That's what ticked off Mark
To go to
to
Chad's
go to
house,
Chad.
yes.
Was the bomb setting off.
It was after that.
Yeah, it was the bomb.
It was
the
weird that
bomb
they
on
kept
you're
letting
right.
the kids be by themselves. Even though it was
Yeah.
the backyard, it's like someone could hop the fence.
Well,
or the scene
it's
in the
very-
park. There's just like a lot of those scenes where they would
think-
just let the kids be by themselves.
I think that that's somewhat true to life in a little bit, because now I'm not saying true to your mother. Your mother.
My mom.
My mom would have
I'm
been
not saying,
like,
but the reality of the situation is a lot of people take their own space. Their own space is safety for granted. Like they think the backyard is fine. It's fine. It's the backyard.
But I
Everything
just-
come in. You know.
okay, but I have to interject there because I feel like something from the TAU unit is going to tell you, hey, do these X, Y, and Z for the safety of your young.
Well, they should have left right
Probably
away.
true. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
probably
the
true.
safety of your child. I think it's different if it's just like your life in your own hands and you're making your own decisions. But I feel that like as a mom or dad, just you're protective of your young. So you're going to be...
I absolutely agree with you.
Good.
Yeah.
Once again, J2, Cam 0.
Not everybody is an ideal parent, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think this does happen sometimes. You know what I
They
mean?
should have left right away. The Christina and Landon, the son, they should have went to her sister's house, went to Northern California, went to San Diego, just got out of town.
Yeah, and
let Mark deal with it.
Stay with Mark.
Yeah, she was arguing about it.
He was like, girl, if you don't leave.
Like Jade was saying too, like I feel like the unit would have told them, hey, you should probably leave your husband and go up to the sister's house too.
Right, or say, or keep an eye on things, or just a heightened like a sense of awareness.
Yeah.
You know,
Stay
because
alert.
right, because after that, finally, you know, she's like agrees and she takes the son, and the questioning that Beth had with Chad was awesome.
Oh yeah.
That interrogation was great
Beth.
because she's really trying to. We know you do. I love her. But
And Trent was against it too, right? He didn't want her to break.
Right. Well,
him
he didn't
down.
think he thought that if she did it, it was going to fail.
Right.
And then it was
his
just
plans because he had
because they were
a
so
bigger-
close to doing whatever Trent had to do.
right.
This is why I'm not a big fan of Trent.
I believe you. I can
I'm just
understand.
saying.
And he was walking around in a suit the whole time.
Yeah,
okay.
looking all
How about
cool.
Exactly likable.
Like,
Who solves crimes in a three-piece? Come on.
Right, and he had a tie on, check you out. And so then they had him. What happens with so she doesn't really. She kind of pushes his buttons. She gets him riled up, but not enough to, keep him in or get him to really confess to much. And then, oh gosh, his name is blanking from Ben. Ben starts
Ben closes the deal.
He does. What does he do?
He says something derogatory in Espanol.
Yes.
On Espanol.
You guys caught
In
it, right?
Espanol.
That is Spanish.
That is Spanish.
For those of you
Non-LA. Espanol means Spanish. Hi. And so he says something. He's like, what'd you say to me? And the next thing you know, he's threatening Ben's life and tries to fight Ben. And then they're like, great. Gotcha.
We got you for threatening a police officer.
Exactly. So he's, he's in trouble.
Can you guys clarify the scene when they played the tape back in front of Mark's house and they saw it was Chad's truck?
Yeah. So
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now this is something that's kind of blurry for me because they never actually resolved this. I don't think. Somebody apparently stole Chad's truck. Two other skinheads stole Chad's truck and drove it to the place, to the house.
Mark's house.
And they found out because they looked at the plates on the security footage that they got from the neighbor. But then the two guys came in confessing that they stole the truck. I don't know why.
I think
never
they're
connected.
protecting
Their family and the brotherhood. They didn't want to throw him under.
Because
Right, but
Chad's their leader.
Why were they there to begin with?
Yeah, so who did the whole laser pointing and the brick? I thought it was them that did it.
So
That's why it was so confusing.
So that's when they ran in through the brick.
Yeah.
And not see what I was thinking is like, okay, I thought that we were led to believe they went and set the bomb.
No. Which I think the bomb was actually set. Well, I guess we can get into this now since
Yeah.
The real stalker.
The real stalker turned out to be. I think it's like two stalkers. Really, he had more than one. He had the group that were against him. Then he had his next door neighbor, Howard. What was his last name? Granger. Howard Granger.
Howard Granger.
So Howard is the suspect, and it turns out that he was a victim like 5 years ago of a hate crime. And so it triggered something in his brain when he found out. That's what it was. Something got triggered in his head when he found out that Mark was a former skinhead.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then he goes...
He has a psychotic break.
Yeah, like a psychotic breakdown. And so he turns off the lights and... Oh, he's the one that did the bomb.
Yep.
He's the one that...
We see another bomb later on in his house.
Right, yeah. Oh, that's right. So then they know it's him. And then...
What about the phone call that he originally got in the first
So
scene?
I think what it was the truck, the two guys that drove the truck.
Okay.
They made the phone call and then ran. You see the footage where they run out of the truck? That's when they ran up and threw the brick.
Okay.
See, I thought that they were leading us to believe, until we found out that indeed it was Howard that set the bomb. I thought that they were trying to make us think that they set the bomb. Which is probably what they tried to do.
But that's the thing. That's how Howard found out that his neighbor. Because if you go back to that episode, to the beginning, you'll see his reaction to him when all the neighbors are outside. They stay on him a little longer than the others, and you see his reaction on Howard's reaction, and Howard's like.
But wasn't that before the brick was thrown?
No, it was after.
That was during the fire outside, right?
Yes. It was before.
Well, the fire, that's what I'm saying, when they're outside at the house and they see there's like the fire and there's the Nazi written on the garage and he's outside topless with the tattoos. Right. That's when they showed Howard a little longer and you see his reaction. So I think that's what triggered him then to do the whole bomb thing.
Seeing the tattoos.
Yeah, and seeing the tattoos and, maybe Nazi on his walls.
But it would seem like that group is still going to continue to stalk Mark and the family.
Right, yeah, that's true.
But they didn't, right? That was the only incident they were responsible for.
Yeah, that was the only incident they were responsible for.
Because everything else was by Howard.
I mean, probably not now.
I don't know.
Well, to be continued. Right, so it's crazy because now Howard gets a hold of Mark and...
Ooh.
Yeah, I closed my eyes for that. What happened?
Test.
It just cuts him
He had
all
a razor
over.
and he started cutting. I
think it was a box cutter.
Yeah. He's just cutting, like all over his tattoos and stuff.
Ouch.
Oh, and then we see him later whenever Jack finds him later. Bloody mess.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Trent gets stabbed by Howard, which was a baby
didn't bother
stab.
Cam.
I cut what?
I said, which didn't bother
I know Cam was probably like.
I feel bad because he was nice to the kid at the end, but I was kind of like, I don't know. He probably shouldn't. First of all, Trent goes into the house. He's back there shining the flashlight around, like, hello. He's going, get your gun out. He's ready.
He's a little out of his element.
Totally.
I thought it was kind of funny that the neighbor, the Asian neighbor, kind of happened to be a ninja. It's like, is that normal neighbor skills like that? You can ninja someone and do all of that?
Oh, yeah, that fight scene was
So,
awesome.
He pounced on him.
Yeah.
Howard Granger, ladies and gentlemen.
Howard Granger. It's awesome.
Black belt.
Apparently.
After that beatdown.
And they, so then Jack comes to rescue, saves Trent, basically.
And we were worried about Trent for a second. We weren't sure if he was stabbed pretty severely or if it was...
Cameron wasn't worried about it.
Yeah, Cam was like, yeah.
But it sounded like it wasn't deep enough.
He said, I'm not going to
I
die.
said a lot of things. I don't know. I don't really recall.
He said a lot of things that weren't nice. No, so we find, Jack saves Trent. And then I love when you see Amanda comes, it's like all the hospital, like the trucks are outside and the families come and are all reunited. And Amanda's reunited with Trent. And she walks right past Jack, like, I don't see you. But then when she looks at him and she mouths,
Thank you.
Thank you. She's like,
and we should probably talk about the scene where Amanda and Jack have a little talk about him staying in LA.
Ooh.
oh, so are we going to go on to the Amanda, Jack, Ethan, Trent
Sure.
Go there.
Let's do it.
Love Square?
Love Square.
Love Square. So Amanda, you start to really see Amanda coming around a little bit towards Jack. She's thanking him. Thanks for saving my man. Mm-hmm.
I was really surprised because in previous episodes she was so adamant about him leaving.
So hostile.
So hostile.
Do you think it happened too soon? The transition of her starting to...
No, in the last
had that
one,
breakthrough conversation in the last episode, so I could kind of see that, but she kind of completely did a 180.
Yeah.
She did.
I think because she sees him doing a good job. And obviously Beth really likes him. He's adjusting well, so.
I think she also sees that he's not fazed by her threats and he's not going anywhere. So it's coexist, get over it. And that's it.
I thought she was going to hop on him like Howard did. She was looking.
She did give him that
really
look.
flirty at him.
And Jade, you had that prediction last week that she might have feelings for him.
Yeah, but the way she said thank you and she fluttered those eyes, come on now, she wasn't thinking about Trent.
There was definitely a lingering.
No.
I'd like to think nobody was thinking about Trent.
Once she heard that CBS ordered a full season, she was like, you can stay.
Yes, you can stay. Exactly. And so now we have Amanda and Trent. They're in their apartment now, and they're talking, and he's like, they're drinking wine, and he's on painkillers, so he's going to be really on one. He's about to be loopy after that first sip of wine. And so he basically, he puts Ethan to sleep, and then he says to her, hey, I know that's you and Jack have this kid together. And she's like, Jack told you. And he's like, no, I just can tell. Yeah, I should tell you.
Great impression of Amanda.
What?
Yeah.
How do you know this?
I know. So she's like, oh my gosh. And so she says, he's like, no, I just sense this. And don't you think Ethan should get to know his father? And she's looking like, ain't nobody asking your opinion. And then you see little Ethan. That's what it felt like, right?
A little bit, yeah.
I birthed him, not you.
Yeah.
You just came into the picture. Yes, you're living here and serving as this child's father, but you have no say.
At that point, she was on the same page about Trent as I was.
Right.
Me and Amanda are in the corner like, okay, go.
You're like, hey, Trent, I think you're starting to wear out your welcome here. No. But you see Ethan on the side of the wall eavesdropping.
Like a creeper.
Ethan, weren't you supposed to be asleep?
Ethan is stalking his mother.
He's learning from his daddy. But yeah, that was interesting that you see that. But do you think that Ethan understood?
That's what I was thinking. He was kind of young.
I think he did. I think he understood. I feel like, what is he, 6, 7, probably? That's old enough to understand.
And I don't want to get into predictions, but it's interesting because this might start to sway him to wonder and ask more questions.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%.
Mommy, who's my daddy?
Yeah.
I like that.
When can I meet my dad?
No, it's not Trent.
It's the neighbor guy that you keep seeing stalking.
Yeah.
Howard?
Exactly.
I like that Trent made the suggestion to her to say, hey, don't you think Ethan wants to know his father? I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah.
Then I became Team Trent.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
That's when he won me over.
He won me over a little bit more.
I mean, honestly, I liked Trent in the episode when him and Jack had that confrontation. And he just was like, I just want to know what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah.
You could tell that he really does care about Amanda and Ethan, and he had me there.
I think he has a certain look about him that looks like he has ulterior motives, but he keeps saying... But he keeps saying nice things and nice gestures.
He does have that look. In the following, he was a cult leader.
Yeah, that's what it is, I think.
Not that he's fine. He's cute.
I can always tell Jade goes into like this daze when we're talking about a select list of people. She's like, oh, well, I thought he was fine. Oh, Perry.
I know.
We're thankfully on the same page about Perry.
That we are on the same.
Nothing's gonna change that.
Nothing is gonna get in between.
No
that.
abs are gonna change that.
I mean, unless Perry had like some protein shakes or something by episode 16, maybe I could sway a little bit. Stop lifting that kale and lift some iron. Let me stop. He might come on the show, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not coming on this one chicken. These two people are so mean about me. Why would I want to come
about your character,
Your
sir.
character, not you as a person.
Not you.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, you like that so far?
Good.
Yeah, that was good. So we think Ethan's going to want to probably start. I think he's going to start asking questions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Which leads me to letting everybody know to go to iTunes, AfterBuzz TV, and look for Stalker and rate it. Tell us what you think. Leave some comments. We like 5 stars. Go to youtube.com as well, AfterBuzz TV, and look for Stalker. And like us, subscribe, leave some comments. We answer, we respond, we discuss them. So we want to hear from you guys.
You subscribe in the iTunes podcast app. We pop up on your phone every week. We stalk you. We stalk you.
And there's no better way to be stalked from a Stalker after show than that way.
Exactly.
I love the way you put it that way.
Stalking everybody.
Yeah.
We've been thanked for stalking people. In a very weird way.
I know, but we love it. We stalk you guys We We're like, who answered? Who did we reply to? Who
and
commented?
We got a lot of great comments and theories this week.
Oh, yeah.
So keep those coming.
Thank you for those.
Keep them coming. Which leads us now to topic 3, Beth and Patty.
Pear Bear as
Pear Bear.
Pear Bear. Pears.
He's my Pear Bear.
It's getting real, and Beth is getting real emotional.
Beth is getting emo. Beth gets emo.
Every episode we see her break down a little bit more.
It humanizes her a little bit more. So,
But I don't
that's
like
true.
her.
That's very true.
I don't like her as a human. I like her as Beth gets real.
You like her as a
Hashtag in
badass
front.
robot?
Yes.
Hashtag Beth gets real.
Yeah, I like it. I like that part of her character. I mean, I know you do want to experience like the humanistic side of a character as well, but I like it when she's all bad and tough.
Sure.
And Perry's really
Me
getting
too.
to her. So what happens?
she doesn't know it's Perry yet.
Yeah, but exactly.
So
But
she comes home and she goes to check her mail. I like that she has an old school mailbox that just anyone can grab her stuff. And she picks up a box. She goes inside the house and goes to open the box. And there's all this like fluff stuff, and when she removes it, she sees a bear. It's all white and it has a yellow ribbon. So I remembered that from a few episodes ago when Perry went into her house.
Yeah.
So I think she starts thinking, looking at the bear, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" Like something clicks. So she goes to her closet, pulls out her little memoir box, and opens it, and then pulls out a bear that's an exact replica of the one that was sent to her.
exactly, except the bear in the box is like burned with like ashes and stuff, and then this is like a new improved bear, all nice and bright and pretty,
So creepy though.
but really creepy.
Yes.
Imagine being sent proof that somebody has been in your home
Or knows.
or knows so many different things about you.
It's such a Perry move too.
Yeah, and you
Such
can
a
see her
power move.
mind is just racing.
It's terrifying.
It felt for her like that's crazy.
And obviously, she has been through so much with this. We're assuming that her stalker and the fire were connected somehow, but she has to revisit this all over again.
And
Not a
it
good
seems,
situation.
but it seems like from when she was talking with her friend, it was just that she finally was starting to have closure.
Right.
Yeah.
Just when she was getting her closure, this is happening. That's just so cruel.
So freaky.
Not
So
good.
not cool.
I blame Trent.
So what do you got for news and gossip?
Oh.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, I have some comments from last week. If you guys would
I
like
have
to
some news
hear
and
us.
gossip too.
Do tell, Cam.
Oh.
Well, Dylan McDermott earned a spot in People Magazine's 2014 Sexiest Man Alive issue. So,
Congrats, Dylan. Hey, that's from you climbing up in that attic from that first episode. Well deserved, Dylan. Well deserved.
He's actually 53. Did you guys know that?
No way.
Yes.
Wow.
Man does
Looks
not
amazing.
age.
Are you serious?
What?
Serious.
All right.
Check him out.
Hashtag Dylan McDermott is 53 and is great looking.
I have some Ben gossip too.
You have Ben gossip?
Ben gossip.
Ben gossip.
So Ben,
Hit me with it.
his name is Victor Rusick, and he was actually cast in a major role in 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh,
Yes. He's going to be playing Jose, who's an aspiring photographer and
don't remember
classmate of Anastacia. And he's going to rival for the affections
read the
with
book?
Gray.
I do now. I do. I totally forgot about that. All I was like Christian, but now I remember. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
excited.
So yeah, look out for him. The movie comes out in February.
That's good for him.
Ben. Victor.
I have a little bit of news and gossip.
Go.
Before I get to the comments, Stalker was...
AfterBuzz TV
I wanted to give you your own little explosion.
Oh, you're too kind.
Shout out to Steven.
Stalker
Steven.
was nominated for People's Choice Awards for Favorite New TV Drama.
Oh.
So go vote.
Yes.
Go vote.
Go vote for that. That's important.
We have some comments this week on YouTube. Jan Venice absolutely loved this episode, referring to last week's. It's one of my favorite new shows of the fall TV season. Love this after show. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching.
Thank you.
She says, let's see here. There was an episode on Investigation Discovery where a female comic book writer got stalked, and then one at the convention stalked her. Like I was talking about last week, how I was kind of stalked at a comic book convention.
Yeah.
Talking
Close
about
to
that
home,
a little bit. Joseph Boza says, fantastic writing in last week's episode. I thought this should have been the pilot, because like Anastacia said, I thought the cases would have been more of a Hollywood twist with celebrity cases. Okay. Thank you. Hawkins Olson says, awesome shout out last week. Thanks for the shout out.
You're welcome. Anytime, boo. Anytime.
And that's about it. Oh, here's one more.
Okay.
Liz Shatu. I'm so tired of Perry and so ready for Beth to find out he's stalking her. I think we're ready for Beth to find out.
And I think we're ready for predictions. Let's get that dance going. Hey.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV.
You gotta trademark that.
I like the hey there. Hey.
Hey. What was it?
Oh, I think it was
Kool-Aid Man.
What was it?
Hey.
Oh, yeah, that was, but I got it confused. It's bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Any hoosers. So, predictions. Teresa, what you got for me?
So, I mean, I think Maggie or Beth is going to realize that Perry is stalking her. And I think Tracy, the friend, is going to be the one that tips it off to Beth. I think finally, because Perry's getting really obvious about it. He's not really being, a little sly about it. So I think she'll pick up on it, and then her and Beth are going to have a conversation and figure it out.
Yeah, I think, also from just the previews that we saw for the show.
For next week.
Yeah, my prediction is that it's going to be about finding out. I think the case is now going to be about Beth.
Do you think that it's going to be finding out about her past or just about Perry?
I think it's going to be both. I think we're going to see her having to tell. She knows that she's being stalked. She's got to get to the bottom of it, and I think that people are going to help her solve this case because, when it's your own officer, someone in your office, and you're dealing with the issue like this, it becomes top priority. Like there was like the one episode with the cop and his daughter got shot. That became they put more men on the case. Yeah. I just think that it's going to develop more. I think it's going to be about her next episode. It's
going to be good.
It's going to be good.
I think it's going to be good. I think here's my prediction. It's going to be good. Number one. Number two, I think we're going to see Ethan say something, confront Jack somehow next week. I don't know if he's going to know exactly why he's confronting him, maybe a little bit. So I heard you might be my dad. I don't really know.
I do, my father.
I'm not sure. And I predict that we're going to find out that Ben is part of the conspiracy against Beth next week.
That was actually going to be my prediction, that you were going to predict that Ben was an informant.
I predict that part of your prediction is wrong, Anastacia.
I predict that, obviously based on the previews, that Perry is going to be revealed in the next episode. I feel like Jack is going to be the one that helps save Beth, and then she's going to be like, Jack, oh my God, I love you. Like, you saved me.
And then
There's more chemistry there.
Make out.
Do it.
Yeah. And
that's when do a dance.
I predict also that I agree with you guys that Ethan is going to start to question, but I feel
Cam's red. I made him blush.
Can I get through my prediction?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks. And then I predict that Amanda is going to be more the one to come around, just because Ethan may ask questions, but Amanda's the adult, so it's going to take her. I feel like the thank you and the looks and you're welcome for letting me stay, she's going to Trent's going to get in her head. She's going to think about it a little bit more.
And
I'm going to add to that real quick.
No, because you cut me off during my prediction, so you can't.
That was Jade.
So Anastacia 1, Cam 0.
Cameron
Poor
4.
Cam.
Cam is.
I think that did you just cut my mic off?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I heard it.
Wow.
Nobody cares what you have to say anymore, Cam.
So, anyways,
Thanks,
I think that we're gonna see Amanda fall for Jack a little bit more, but Jack and Beth are gonna start getting, and Amanda's gonna be like, wait, no, it's my turn now.
He's come around and he's a new changed man after all that stuff I went through. She's gonna be like, that's not fair.
Janice is going to want to get in on that.
She's like, hey guys,
Get her in there too.
room for one more.
Oh man.
All right.
Is that
All right,
it?
I think that's it. I think it's time for us to plug people can find us on social media. You can find me Instagram at Jade's World.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Stay Classy Anna with 2 N's.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Teresa Jane.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Only Camshaft, or my website, CameronLewis.com. Jade.
I said it already.
Anastacia, we're going to miss you next week.
Oh,
I
be
miss
here.
you.
yeah, we're gonna miss you guys.
Cam and I are going back home to me to the Bay, and you're going back
You're not supposed to
area.
tell people where you guys are going. They're gonna stalk you.
I'm going to the area.
to the area.
The area.
Undisclosed.
I'll see you
All right, guys, that's it for us.
Bye.
Bye.
From From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.